Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Mom and Me Show, featuring Roseanne, Megan, and Dennis the Duck. Please put your hands together and welcome the mom of Mom and Me, Roseanne.
Friends, friends, we all need friends. Friends stick together, you see. Friends, friends, we all need friends. Good friends are like you and me. Friends, friends, we all need friends. Friends stick together, you see. Friends, friends, we all need friends. Good friends are like you and me.
Hi boys and girls, we're in Middletown, Maryland at the Middletown Volunteer Fire Company.
Today we're going to learn about fire safety.
We have a friend of ours here today, Russ, who's a firefighter. Hi Russ.
Hello.
How are you? Good to see you. Remember Russ, Megan?
Russ, if I'm at home, what do I do if there's a fire?
Well, Megan, you want to talk to your mommy and daddy about having somewhere to go in case there is a fire. So if you hear the fire alarm or your smoke detector, you can go down the hallway and meet outside at like a fixed point, like a tree or your mailbox, somewhere away from the house, preferably closer to your neighbors. If it's smoky, you want to stay low to the ground and just know exactly where you are. So always keep your hallways nice and clear so you don't stumble over anything. And just be able to make sure that at night, or you and your mom and dad can practice, close your eyes or blindfold yourself and see if you can make it from your bed to the front door and then outside to where you need to meet.
We need to practice that at our house, Megan.
Yeah, that's a great idea. If there's a fire, should I take anything with me?
That's a good question, Megan. You don't want to bring anything with you that you don't need. If it's cold outside, you might want to bring your blanket that you're sleeping on. But don't worry about your stuffed animals or any toys that you need. Don't worry about your pets. Just go outside. The firemen will come and try to get everything that they can that belongs to you.
What about my family?
Well, Megan, you want to make sure you get outside as quick as you can because your parents are going to want to make sure you're outside. So the best thing to do is when you're going down the hallway is just to make a lot of noise, shout out to your mommy, your daddy, yell fire, knock on doors as you go by, but make sure you get outside. The firemen will come and will do what they need to do and make sure your family's all right.
What if I see fire?
Well, if you see the fire or feel any heat, you definitely want to go in the opposite direction. So always make sure you know where your house is. So if you're going down the hallway after your smoke alarm goes off and you start feeling heat or you come to a door that's closed, you don't want to open that door because the fire might be right on the other side. So put your hand up to it. Never touch the door. But if you feel heat, that means there's probably a good chance the fire's on the other side. So you want to go find another way to get out.
If I'm at our meeting place and no one comes out, what should I do?
Well, Megan, if you're at your special meeting place, you probably want to count, talk to your parents and count to a certain number, like 100 or 200. And that way, if you get to that number and nobody's out yet, you can go to a neighbor's house that your parents told you to go to and knock on their door and wake them up so your neighbors can call 911 if they need to.
What should you do if you're on your way out of the house and your clothes catch on fire?
Well, you always want to remember stop, drop, and roll. It doesn't matter if you're in your house or wherever. If you ever catch on fire, immediately just stop, drop, and roll. This is my fellow firefighter, Brian. He's going to demonstrate stop, drop, and roll. Now, once you realize you're on fire, you want to immediately go to your knees and then lay on your stomach, put your hands over your face, and just start rolling. Roll a few times in one direction, then roll back until you don't feel any heat or somebody tells you you can stop.
What do firefighters wear when they go to a fire?
Firemen use and wear a whole variety of stuff. That's why we bring fire engines along with us, from our boots to our pants to jackets, helmets, a whole series of different axes and weird looking tools. My friend Brian here is going to demonstrate how we put this gear on. He just put on his bunker pants. This is called a hood, protects our necks. Our turnout jacket with a flashlight so we can see where we're going. During firefighter training, we have to learn how to put this on really fast so we can get out the door quick and through the houses. Now, to go along with all this, we also wear these air tanks and face masks. Now, when we put all this stuff on, we can look really scary. And firemen have a habit of loving to make noise. So if you ever hear a fireman coming when you're in a house, just shout out who you are, and where you're at, so that way he can come closer to you and help you. We have a whole series of real neat gadgets too. This is called a thermal imager. It can see through smoke. Never be afraid when you hear a fireman. When he's shouting in the building, with these masks on, it's very hard to hear him. So you got to be quiet. Well, don't be quiet. Make sure you're loud. But always listen to what he says, because he's going to try and do everything he can to help you. So make sure you don't hide under doors, or behind doors, under beds, in bathtubs. Always make sure you're trying to get out. But if you hear him, try to go to him, because he's going to try and come to you. And this is what we look like when we're all decked out.
What does a fireman sound like when he tries to talk?
Well, Megan, you can hear him breathe right now, but whenever he talks, it's really muffled. Brian, try and say, "Hey, is anybody in here?"
Hey, is anybody in here?
Hear that? It doesn't sound like a normal person. So if you ever hear a real muffled tone or it sounds kind of hollow, it's just a fireman coming with his air tank on.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you, Brian, for teaching us today about fire safety. Being a firefighter is one of the most important jobs there is, and we'd like to thank firefighters everywhere for helping us.